Have you ever stopped to think, why do you constantly attract the same type of people into your life? Why do you feel a void inside even when you are full, until you hear someone else's approval that you are enough? Or why does a feeling that you cannot be truly happy seem to follow you, even when good things are happening? If you find yourself stuck in relationships that are not good for you, constantly seeking validation from others, or feeling like no matter what you do it is never sufficient, the reason is not that you are broken. The real issue is that the little girl or the little boy inside you is still subconsciously searching for that unconditional love and security it never fully received from the outside world. You are still seeking the fundamental emotional foundation you were denied as a child from other people. You strive to earn love because you were taught that love is a reward to be won. You tolerate hurtful behavior because your subconscious mind coded this as normal. But let today be your day of awareness. Both women and men unknowingly reenact our childhood wounds in our relationships, again and again. Remember Carl Jung's famous words. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. This video will be a guide on this consciousness journey for you. Because here, we will touch the deepest layers of your being. I will show you how that old wound still dictates your relationships, your self-worth, and your self-respect. More importantly, I will explain step by step how to heal this wound, how to break this vicious cycle, and how to reclaim the fundamental self-love that was always rightfully yours. Please stay with me until the end of the video, because when you finish this video, your perspective on yourself and your past will change radically. For the first time in your life, you will understand that the real problem was never you. If you think this message could touch someone else's life, please do not hesitate to share it with them. You cannot even imagine the weight that could be lifted from their shoulders. Now, please give me your attention, dear Strong Mind family. Let us start with a simple but profound truth. However you were treated as a child, your subconscious treats you the same way today. Now pause for a moment and visualize a small child standing in front of the mirror, doubting nothing about their reflection, accepting love as an unquestionable right, with no anxiety about being enough. That child was free. They existed with their emotions, laughing, crying, expressing their anger as it came. Until one day someone looked at them in a tone that said, "You are too loud, be quiet." Or another day, when they cried because they were hurt, their feelings were judged as silly and ignored. From that moment on, slowly, that little child began to change. They came to believe their emotions were a burden, a problem. They learned they had to behave to be accepted, and fit into certain molds to be loved. And eventually, they stopped looking at themselves with love. Tell me, could that little child be you? Because our childhood experiences do not magically disappear. They stay with us and unconsciously shape our attitude towards ourselves today. If you were made to feel inadequate at some point, you are still living in the shadow of that feeling today. If your worth was questioned, you are still waiting for someone else to validate you. If you learned that love is earned through sacrifice, you are still giving away pieces of yourself, hoping that someone will finally choose you. The most painful part is that you often live this cycle over and over without even being aware of the old wound driving these behaviors. You are still drawn to relationships where you have to prove your worth. You accept less than you deserve because somewhere deep inside, you believe this is normal. You are searching externally for that love no one ever taught you or gave you. And until you clearly see this pattern and decide to break it, you will remain stuck in a story you never truly chose. The way you love yourself today is not your authentic choice. It is a learned inheritance. Think about it. Look at the storm that rages inside you when you are rejected. Look at the harsh words you say to yourself when you make a mistake. Look at the coldness that settles in you when you look in the mirror. You were not born with any of this. It was taught to you when you were too young to make sense of the world. The conditional love you received became the ruler you use today to measure your own worth. If you saw a parent settle for crumbs of love, you are attracting relationships with similar dynamics today. If you were taught that you must please everyone to avoid rejection, you are still compromising your own identity. If you felt unseen as a child, you are still staying with people who do not see you, because how you were treated as a child formed the foundation of how you treat yourself today. And until you change that, you will continue to accept the same things again and again. This is the story you are repeating. Let me tell you a short story. Once, there was a little girl who grew up in a home where love was conditional. She received praise when she got good grades, was obedient, and pleased others. But when she was just herself, having a bad day, daring to be imperfect, or admitting she needed love, she was met with indifference. That girl grew up, but years later, she was still looking for the same thing in her relationships. People who made her feel small. Because that was the feeling she knew, she was familiar with. She stayed with those who ignored her. Because in her mind, that is what love was like. She fought to be chosen. Because from childhood, she was taught that love was not a right, but something to be earned. Now tell me, could that girl be you? If you still feel you need to do something special to be loved. If you are still chasing relationships where you do not feel seen enough. Or if you believe the problem is you, that if you changed, if you were more beautiful, quieter, less intense, then yes, everything would be fixed. That girl is still living inside you. And until you heal her, you will remain stuck in the same cycle. So why is it so hard to leave someone who does not want you? Why do you hold on so tightly to relationships that make you feel inadequate? The answer is simple. Because it is not you. It is the child inside you, searching for the love it never received. It is your most vulnerable self, waiting for someone to see it, to choose it, to make it feel important. However, here is the most painful but equally liberating truth. No one can give that love and approval, which you did not receive as a child, to the child inside you on your behalf. You could find the most wonderful person in the world. Someone who truly loves you, someone who values you. And yet if you have not healed your own wound, that feeling of emptiness will still find you, because the love that was missing in childhood cannot be filled with love from the outside. This void only begins to fill when you decide to stop repeating that old story. Emotional attachment is often a desperate search for childhood love. Look at it this way. As a child, all you wanted was to feel safe, loved, and protected. If you did not get that, your mind developed a survival strategy. Maybe you learned to be compliant, because you believed you would not be abandoned if you pleased others. Maybe you learned to be strong and believed you needed no one, because you understood no one would support you. Maybe you started idealizing people who showed you a little bit of attention, because this was the closest simulation of love familiar to your mind. And you are still behaving the same way today. You are still choosing relationships where you have to prove your worth. You confuse attachment with love. You chase emotionally unavailable people, because they remind you of that emotional chaos you were familiar with as a child. This is no coincidence. If you felt love was unpredictable as a child, there one day and gone the next, you still get stuck in unstable relationships today. If you learned you had to do something extraordinary to be seen as a child, you are still seeking validation in love, success, and the approval of others today. If you felt you were difficult to love as a child, you still accept the bare minimum today. Because deep down you believe you do not deserve more. But here is the most important question. How long, how many more years will you repeat the same story? How many more times will you expect from someone else what no one could give you? Because that child is still inside. Yes, but now the person who will look after it, who will love it, is you. The only person who can give your inner child what it has always needed is you. Do not wait for your partner to do it. Do not wait for your family to do it. Do not wait for life to do it. If you wait, you will only find yourself in relationships that reopen the same wound again and again. But the moment you decide to heal, the moment you stop operating from a mindset of lack, the moment you stop waiting for love to come from outside and dare to give yourself the love you have always needed, that is the moment the cycle breaks. That is the moment you become truly free for the first time in your life. This process is not just about understanding. Saying, yes, my childhood affected my self-love is not enough. You must make the decision to stop treating yourself the way you were treated. If you were made to feel you were not enough, start telling yourself every day, I am enough. If your worth was doubted, start proving it to yourself with every healthy decision you make. If you were never taught how to be loved, now you learn to love yourself. Because if you do not do it, no one will. I know, accepting this hurts. It is easier to believe that if someone loves you enough, that emptiness will be filled. But if you are still waiting for an external savior, you will only find yourself experiencing abandonment over and over again. Healing your inner child is not about blaming the past. It is about reclaiming the present now. The truth is, unhealed wounds become chains that bind you to your past. And the only path to freedom is to accept that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix you. And no one is coming to give you what you were not given. The only person who can do that is you. This is not just theory. Here is a small step to get you started. Today, talk to that little child inside you. Say to it, I am here, I see you, I love you, and you are safe. Important to note EES, if you have watched the video up to this point, you are not alone on this transformation journey. If this content has added value to you, please do not forget to click the like button to help this channel reach more people who want to add positive impact to their lives. Leaving a comment, sharing what it meant to you, is also an invaluable source of motivation for us. And if you have not subscribed yet, you can officially join the Strong Mind family by clicking the subscribe button to guide you on your journey to emotional freedom, inner strength, and awareness. You will be instantly notified of our new content. Remember, you have always been enough. You just needed to gather the courage and belief to tell yourself that. And today is the time to do it.